The beauty of creating a live event, such as a webinar, is that you actually get two products. The first product is the live event itself. Since live events have a high perceived value, you might even attach a premium price tag to attend the event. Once the event is over, you'll have the recordings to do with as you please. You can sell them, give them away as lead magnets, compile multiple recordings into a home study course, or even chop up a long recording to create multiple products. Pretty sweet, huh? So that's what this video is about. Here you'll find out the finer points of planning and setting up a live event such as a webinar. So without further ado, let's jump in. Step 1. Choose your webinar format. Here you need to choose the topic for your webinar and how you're going to present the information. To figure out the topic, as usual, you'll need to do some market research. If people are already buying webinars, books, or other products on some particular topic, that's a good sign that they'll buy a seat in your webinar too. Secondly, ask yourself how you'll present the information. Here's a few options. Slide presentation style. Basically, we're talking a PowerPoint style presentation that you narrate. You'll need to keep this moving along quickly to keep your audience engaged. Be sure to use a variety of slides with text, graphics, charts, and more to make it visually interesting. Another webinar format is the talking head style. This is where the camera is aimed at you and/or your guest speakers during the webinar. Demo video. This is where you show yourself actually performing some activity. You might demo a piece of software, or you could demo a physical activity such as tuning a carburetor. You also have to decide if you're going to do this webinar alone, with another person, or perhaps even with a panel of experts. Getting a big name as a guest will help you draw more people to your webinar, plus the guest will usually help you promote. Next up, step 2 is to select your platform. What you're looking for is a webinar platform that allows you to record the event. If you're holding a small event with 10 people or less, such as a group coaching session, you might use Google Hangouts on air. Otherwise, for larger groups, you'll need a bigger platform, such as gotowebinar.com or a similar platform. Next step, step 3, prepare your content. If you're doing a slide presentation style webinar, then of course you'll need to prepare your slides along with notes for your narration. One note, it's a good idea to practice going through the slides several times before the live event. This way, you'll know how long it takes and you'll get a sense of pacing. Be sure to record your practice sessions and play them back to see how an audience will view them. If you have guest speakers, then you'll want to prepare an outline for them so they know what to expect. But heads up, no matter what style webinar you're doing, don't prepare a word-for-word script. That's because you don't want everyone on the webinar to be reading their script, or the whole thing will come off sounding stilted and robotic. Your viewers will fall asleep. Heck, maybe even you and your guests will fall asleep. Okay, so technically your next step is to promote the whole event like crazy, so you sell out your seats. I'll leave that step to you. Since this video is about product creation, we're going to skip that and head to step 4, holding the event. The first thing to remember here is to be sure to record the event. Check, double check, and triple check that the webinar is being recorded. You don't want to get all the way through your webinar just to find out that dang thing didn't record. Secondly, most webinars include questions from the audience. You need to decide if you want viewers to directly ask their questions on air or if you want them to submit the questions via the text chat. The benefit of having viewers submit questions via text chat is that you can control the quality. In other words, you only need to read questions that you want to answer. The benefit of having viewers ask their questions directly is that you can offer more in-depth and customized help when you have a live conversation with the viewer. Which option is best? It depends on the size of your audience and the goal of your webinar. For example, if you're running a large webinar with hundreds of viewers, it's a good idea to screen questions by having viewers submit them via text chat. And now the last step. Step 5. Creating your product. Now that you're done with the webinar, you need to go grab some video editing software and create your product. Check the recommended resources section of this site for links to editing software. You can take this product in several directions. For example, you can chop up this webinar to create a series of standalone products. You can chop up the webinar to create one product with several modules. You can offer the recording as is with little to no editing. You can use the recordings as a lead magnet. You can add your webinar to a membership site. You can sell resell rights licenses to the recordings in order to get more people distributing your product. You can create transcripts and offer a text product based on the webinar. And that's just the tip of the product creation iceberg. Get creative, think outside the box, and you can turn your webinar into multiple streams of profit for your business. That's it for this time. Once again, be sure to check out the recommended resources section on this site for links to useful video editing products.